Hello,
Hey,
Tom. How you doing?
good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good. Look at what we're taking care of for a week.
Who is that?
This is Nora. This is a friend of Emily's new dog, and she went to France for 2 weeks, and she just came today.
Oh,
It
cute.
looks like a
I
dust
just
mop.
we went to a little arts and crafts fair last Sunday, and I swear I saw one. Well, probably a combination. I know I saw a fluffy little one like that, and I also saw an interesting color because isn't that it's kind of a light brown?
Yeah, this matches the wood floor, the natural wood floor.
Uh,
It's like an apricot.
Apricot. Okay.
Yeah. So Emily was talking about you the other day. She was saying you guys should come and visit us.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Hey,
It's
Pete.
it's not a long drive, David.
Yeah, I've looked at it before. I'll threaten that we'll make it there.
Well, it will be fun. You just bring the dogs.
Yeah, we got a little yard. We got a big yard, but we got a little yard that's fenced in right by the door. So we just let the dog go out there.
And we have different size kennels. Well, actually, we keep a kennel in one of the cars so that when we're traveling around, they're not subject to bouncing around.
Yeah.
So,
Now you should come. We live in a really neat little town on the border of Maryland and DC. And there's a lot of right now, because of COVID, there's a lot of outdoor. They took one of the streets and closed it off so that all the restaurants that were on that street put tables and chairs and tents up. And now you can eat outside. And there's a bunch of little restaurants that are nice. And there's a lot of walking paths, and it's an okay place.
Oh yeah.
And I'm here. What more could be better?
Well, that's one of the things that that I take into consideration, that you and I have been in touch. I mean, face to face.
Yeah.
Pete, I don't know if I'm going to make it down to Florida ever. My sister's in Fort Myers, and she wants us to come visit, but that's a long drive.
Oh, Fort Myers is nice.
Yeah. But I tell you what, I'm so spoiled. I was as you and I were talking, Tom, I was thinking, so does Tacoma Park feel like it's part of a big city, or does it feel like it's a smaller town unto itself?
It feels pretty much like it's a small town.
Good.
In the midst of a large suburban area, but this is where DC was a big swamp, and in the summertime everybody got malaria, and Tacoma Park is on the train track, so this is like the summer houses, and the guys would come up on the weekend on the train, and their families would all be here. So there's some really big old houses, and there's a lot of smaller houses, but there's a lot of old stuff here.
Yeah.
What could be old in America?
Yeah. Well, that sounds good. I like I said, I have looked at the distance and know that it's manageable. I didn't. Did you figure out what halfway is between here and
yeah, we stopped in Virginia. When we got to Virginia, we stopped.
Okay.
Because Virginia is a long drive.
Yeah.
So how you doing, Pete?
I'm doing well, thanks. I have something to add that maybe I should wait until there are more people here. But a guy I grew up with, well, we went to high school together, and we're both retired, but he has a part-time job with Enterprise Car Rental. And what he does, he and a bunch of his buddies, they know that certain towns, he's in upstate, or not, he's in Long Island, but he goes to like the tri-state area, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut. Some facilities have more cars, so they go up and they'll go up in one car, and they'll take the car and drive it back to point B. And with all of the dialogues we've been having. Because he posted that there's something about there's a shortage of cars because of the semiconductors that they're waiting for to put in new cars.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And I said, well, what about rental cars? He said, they are very scarce. He said, I would suggest putting your request in now. And I was thinking, well, all it takes is some guy with a bunch of money to bribe someone that doesn't have what the fuck word, doesn't have a,
yeah, I know what you mean.
and so they would get a car, and then I show up with the reservation. That's the word I was looking for. And well,
Yeah.
I know you have a reservation. We don't have a car for you. I'm just wondering, that's going to be shit storm because he said,
Well, I'm not anxious to travel this summer or fall, but with this one, I was just going to drive, from Maryland. Billy Blank's going to drive up, and then he's going to stay here one night, and we're going to drive up to Connecticut, and that's an easy 1-day drive because I work up in New York a lot, and that like New York is a 4-hour drive. So we're going to do that because I don't want to, this whole thing of getting on planes and stuff right now. I've heard so many planes canceled and
yeah,
people having trouble, and I don't really want to sit next to somebody on a full plane either. I'm vaccinated, but
hey, Snake.
Oh, Snake.
Yeah,
hey, Stink.
I'm curious about the whole 9 yards. I'm almost tempted to just say, I'd love to do it, but I ain't gonna bother.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I kind of just hold off. I don't know if the whole thing's going to come off or not,
True.
but we'll see.
Yeah.
What do you, is this the reunion?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's talking about rental cars. One of his friends works for Enterprise, and he told him that rental cars are few and far between, and to put your reservation in early.
And then still there's no guarantee that you're gonna get it.
Fly to Hartford and then take a bus over.
Well,
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
but our plan A was to go up, rent a car, and not just do the weekend, but go drive around for a week to see the leaves changing and all that stuff, which we
That would be nice. Now, I know some people are renting U-Haul pickup trucks and U-Haul vans because they can't get a rental car.
uh,
But there's also some services that rent people's cars. You just you pick up somebody's, like there's an app that you can rent somebody's personal car, and they like doing it. I don't know.
yeah.
Like-
Sort of like VRV, vacation rentals by owner,
Yeah,
vacation cars by owner.
right.
Well,
I know my son in California, he needed a pickup truck, and he just goes on this app and it tells him where it is. And he went over there. I went with him. We go over there. There's a little lock box on it, and he got in it and paid by the hour. And then we brought it back to the same spot and just parked it. And great service.
yeah,
That was a company, right? That was a commercial.
Yeah, I
rental?
think it was. I'm not sure if it was somebody's or that the company rented out or what, but all I know is that he had it for like 3 hours, and it was a great deal instead of going and renting a U-Haul or something.
right.
Good.
And
I just
he
got
used
a
it.
quote on redoing my sheetrock in the basement that flooded. We had to cut up about 18 inches of drywall.
Oh, your basement? Yeah.
All the rugs are, the carpet's gone. What a mess.
Oh, No fun.
Oh, absolutely. And pricey.
So is it dried out now?
Got fans and dehumidifiers and all that going. Got heat.
Did you lose a lot of stuff?
I didn't really got most of it up. It wasn't standing water. It was all inside the pad. So we had to rip it all up, and it went up the sheetrock too.
Yeah. What kind of floor did you have?
I had carpet and pad.
Yeah, that soaks it up really good.
Oh man, and that all had to go, and then sheetrock too. And that's the next thing is you get the sheetrock and then some kind of floor covering. I think I'm going to do floor. I won't do carpet again. I'm going to do floor tile or laminate
Yep.
squares.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, in my basement, which floods on and off, so I don't put anything expensive down there, but I have a desk down there and I work down there. On Amazon, I got these 12-inch carpet squares, and they are cheap. They're like $1 a square. They are so nice. It's industrial. It's very sharp. You put that down and it stays down. And I don't know if I don't know who it could be because I remember that name, but it was so easy. It was just really nice and looks good. And you could put a different pat. I put like a little lighter color in the middle, like crossed them. And then you had darker on the outside, and it looked really good and really cheap.
Wow.
And if it gets flooded, they're so skinny, you can pick them up and just toss them away.
Put them in the dryer.
Maybe, you'd still have to redo the glue, but
Yeah.
I was just surprised.
That was a joke.
Yeah, I got you. But it's not a bad idea because these are the right size,
Okay.
Hey, Hoss.
Hello,
What's
Barry.
going on?
Hey,
What's
Barry.
going on, y'all?
We're all doing all right. Hey, Tom, have you been getting any work yet?
Yeah. Monday I went to a huge solar farm in Virginia, like 500 acres of, not 500, like 50 acres of solar panels. It was amazing.
Wow.
And yesterday I did a thing for one of the soup kitchens in town trying to raise money. They're trying to raise money for their kids programs. And so there's been some work, which is good.
Excellent.
Gets me out of the house, gets me a reason to go, and but how's everybody else been doing?
Hanging in
You
there.
still play?
No, I can't. I had surgery. I had cancer and I
Oh, okay.
left the mandible.
Oh, sorry.
So, hey, it's been 9 years. I'm cancer free, but they cut all the nerves. So only the right half of my tongue taste buds work, but there's no feeling there with the other left half side of my tongue.
Can you still eat snatch?
But he can only taste it on the left side.
Barry, once you get past the smell, you got it licked.
As they say, I may be too old to cut the mustard, but I can still lick the jar.
Yep.
Oh, man. Some things don't change with the mustache crew.
No shit.
Looks like you're stuck back in the garage again.
I chose to come back here and get ready to smoke a cigar.
Okay.
I was
Oh.
sleeping. I was taking a nap, and Dottie came up. She said, "Hey, it's 5 to 4. Don't you want to go in your Zoom meeting?" I said, "Oh shit!" So I said, "Let me come smoke a cigar."
Come smoke a guinea stinker.
That's funny.
Hey, Tom, where do you live?
I live in Maryland, right on the Washington, D.C. border in Maryland. And when we moved up here, I moved up here for work. I used to work at Maryland Public TV. And my wife didn't want to live in D.C. because, you don't get a vote for president or anything. You get a vote for president now, but you don't have a governor or any of that stuff because it's not a state. So we live right on the Maryland side. And it's pretty nice. It's worked out really well. Good school
Hey,
district
Ryan.
for the kids. And
Hi, guys.
Hey, Mike,
Hey, Mike. Oh, it looks like a sunny
Hey,
day.
Mike Johnson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's me. Hi, Barry Fulan.
What's up? What's up?
Not
is
much.
that your A-frame there?
No, it's not an A-frame. It's like a barn style thing up in the mountains called a gambrel roof, but it's about 10,300 feet up in the mountains outside Denver.
Wow.
David, how are you?
Doing all right, Mike. Yeah, the your background is such that it looks like you're right there this week.
Well,
Last
It's
week it
a
was
nice
kinda like-
looking A-frame.
yeah. Sure, I'll have some fun with you guys.
You're up at 10,000 feet. How's the oxygen?
I can't be up there without an oxygen concentrator anymore, but then I can't be down in Denver without an oxygen concentrator either.
Jeez.
Oh, wow.
Now, Mike, if you're down on at zero, if you're in New Orleans, 6 feet below sea level, do you still need a concentrator?
Yeah, I can't go anywhere without it.
Okay.
It's just the way it is. As the COPD gets worse,
I'm sure it gets worse the higher you go.
well, it does, but the last time I really traveled anywhere was 2 years ago to Monterey Dixieland Festival, and I had a terrible struggle there. And I wasn't really using the oxygen full time at the time, so I don't know. Now I'm having problems.
Image, Mike.
Huh?
Mike, we lost your image.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get it back.
Which isn't a bad thing, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
We can still hear
Hey,
you. Hey.
now here's a picture of the cabin in the winter.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Wow.
looks good. Looks good.
We don't use it in the winter time. It's too hard to get in there, although the street down in front is plowed all year long. We can't get up in there to park a car. There's about 8 or 10 feet of snow right at the highest point over my left shoulder.
So do you still ski?
I haven't skied in 40 years, but
It's a smart idea.
there's a glacier up there that people ski on all year long. My youngest brother is 68, goes up sometimes and skis on it, but Life for Life helicopter has to come in 3 or 4 times a year and take people off the mountain that really screwed themselves up because it's just ice,
And Mike, where is it?
St. Mary's.
St. Mary?
So, Mike, when you have a house up in the mountains that you don't go to for a couple months, do you turn off the heat and just turn off the water, or how do you prepare it?
Turn the water off in the winter, shut the whole place down, and I have 3 brothers and 1 sister, and but some of them go up there a lot, and I have a nephew and a niece that live here in Denver, and so there's people up there a lot from late spring to early fall.
Okay.
Comes Billy.
1, 2, 3. There he is.
Hey, William, how are you?
Billy?
Hello,
Okay.
Bill.
Hi, Barry. Everybody. Long time no see, Barry. I just saw Danny a few minutes ago.
Where you saw Danny at?
We had lunch, our little theater lunch bunch with Nord, Ty Tracy and Ginger, and we go once a month and have lunch together, and he shows up. He keeps trying to get Bob Bruce to write another show so he can do the music to it.
Cool.
Yeah. So,
I enjoyed seeing you last night, Billy.
yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Your granddaughter was an angel.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't take after Barry.
No, not at all. She likes being on stage though, so that's kind of like Barry.
Yeah.
You have a gig last night, Barry?
Come back?
I said, did you have a gig last night?
No, I didn't. I was over at a local community theater watching a production, and I saw Billy there. He was at the production also. My granddaughter happened to be in the chorus.
Yeah.
Bill, was somebody in your family in the production, or was it just because you're?
No, I'm
Affiliation.
I'm just go see shows now. I'm not filming anything anymore. I'm not videoing.
Hi,
Hey,
Chris.
Chris.
Yeah.
Say, Chris.
Hey, folks.
Howdy,
Oh,
Chris.
Hey. Good to see you.
Good to see you all.
Yeah.
Better to be seen than viewed.
Yeah, true.
You got that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I kept bugged Barry to get on the Zoom meetings again. I don't know if he's, not Barry, Danny, but I guess he has
Danny
other
doesn't
stuff
like
to do.
him,
Yeah.
you know, but that's okay.
He's always been weird.
And it's true. Yeah, it's a good thing nobody's recording that. Oh, somebody is recording that. Okay.
I talked
I don't
to him
think-
a couple of days ago, and he's had a lot going on in his life with caregiver for his wife and other things. And he wants to get back on someday. It just hasn't had a chance to do it lately.
Hmm.
So he said howdy to everybody.
Oh, that's good. So Pete was telling us about his friend who works for a rental car agency and how they're having trouble with rental cars. So Pete, you might go through that again since everybody's there.
Yeah, a guy I grew up with, we were both the same age. He has a part-time job with Enterprise Car Rental, and what they do is he and a bunch of his buddies will they're in the tri-state area, upstate of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. And they'll get in one car and they'll all go up to a certain depot and move cars out of an area to another area that needs them. And he said there's a backlog of cars that aren't in service because they're waiting for this semiconductor to be installed, and they won't be done until September. And so I said, are cars available? And he said, very, very few. So I'm wondering, if we get all the accommodations set up and we have he said, make your reservations early. All you need is some asshole or 2 or 3 or 10 who doesn't have a reservation that tips the $15 an hour minimum wage turkey for, $50 and gets a car, and then you show up with a reservation with no car. So it's just very iffy.
I don't know if that tipping thing happens very often. Pete, I did that for Hertz for 5 years in Denver, and we moved cars all over Colorado and Wyoming and Aspen and Grand Junction and things. And they're pretty tight on reservations and stuff. There were a number of times when somebody would come in the airport or one of the other locations and there wasn't a car available just because there were no cars available. But they were so strict on making sure everybody that had a reservation got a reservation now. That's several years ago. Things could have changed since then, but I just don't know.
Oh yeah, but it's
And there's a lot of bribery in New York and Jersey and all those places too.
well, who knows? It's almost to the point where you say, well, shit, I don't want to take a chance. But our whole idea was to rent a car for a week, and after the show at the Mustache, drive and see all of the leaf change in upstate or New England. But it's very iffy.
Mhm. Well, the end of October, is it just about over by then? I don't know. It's
Well, we would go up before.
oh, okay.
If you're gonna do that, Pete, the thing to do would be to make your reservation as far in advance as you can.
Well, that's what he said to do, but I just wonder if, if they say, yeah, there'll be a car available, but the semiconductors don't get installed and cars are few and far between, like he's saying there are.
What is it they're trying to install?
It's some kind of a semiconductor computer chip in all cars, rental or otherwise.
Yeah.
Peter, I'm a bum around with you. Don't worry about it.
Okay, Barry, whatever you say.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you can get with Oscar Mayer. Maybe they'll let you drive the Wienermobile for free, just for advertisement.
Hey, Barry,
Lucky dog cart.
yeah, boy.
Hey, take the bus to New York and Billy and I will pick you up on our way.
Yeah, we'll squeeze you in some kind of way. Have the back of the car kind of filled up. You got a big car, Tom?
No, about the same size as yours.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course, we could rent a van. Well, no, I guess we can if we can't find rental cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you see a U-Haul coming up, it'll be us.
Yeah.
Get a box truck,
Yeah,
fill it up.
Yeah.
So Chris, I saw you put a couple of new pictures on your Facebook page, huh?
Yeah, I was out. There were a couple from this morning. I was teaching a class of teenagers, a cooking class for them. They go to a camp that they call Camp Delicious, and all week long they learn how to cook. And so today I was the teacher, and it was really nice because we made a lot of food. What I was talking about was, abundanza. You don't lay in short, and all the food that the kids made was donated to a food bank nearby. Not a food bank, but a place where people can actually access cooked food. And
Yeah.
so that was really nice. We must have made, I don't know, maybe 60 servings of food, which is a lot. And I mean, it was gigantic frittatas and cornbread. We made minestra, which is like a minestrone soup with beans, and it's like pasta fazool, but it has a lot more vegetables in it. And what else did we make? Cookies and brownies. And these kids, they were terrific. And I was telling them, I said, I said, I don't know if you realize it, but kids your age get a bad rap, that they're not interested, that all they do is look on their phones. They don't talk to adults. They don't, I said, you're giving them a bad name. I said, because you're not like that. What happened? Where'd you come from? What's going on? And they were laughing, but it really was good to see. It was hopeful to see kids with that much drive and ambition for good things to do, and the willingness to work. These kids went to work. I had them chopping onions and carrots and celery and mashing garlics, and you can't believe all the food that they put through the process in order to make these dishes. So it was really great.
But did you call it mirepoix or not?
Yes, I taught them how to do a mirepoix and the ratio of onions to carrots to celery. Not that it's essential in when you're making minestra, but the standard ratio is 2 parts carrot, 2 part onion to 1 part carrot, 1 part celery. Am I right, Pete?
Sounds good to me. I'm just throwing a name out.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
mirepoix.
Yeah.
I hear
That
that.
sounds like so y'all cooked it. You cooked it there with them. Then it wasn't a Zoom kind of thing. Then, huh?
Oh no.
Yeah, Jim.
We were
Again,
Hi there.
I get.
we were in
I
person.
had to
And,
come
go
down.
ahead, Chris, go ahead. Chris, you have
Yeah.
the floor.
We were there in person cooking, and that it would have been hard to cook this much food from a distance. So they, but everybody was vaccinated, and they decided that it was safe enough to do this camp.
That's great.
So great fun.
Yes, particularly great that y'all were able to help a food kitchen too with it.
Oh yeah. And I said, we're eating the same food that those people are going to be eating. That's, there's something wonderful about that. You made it, you ate it. Now you're letting somebody else eat it too. And I was very proud of those kids. So
Good.
those are the pictures that you're seeing now up on my Facebook thing.
Did you pull out your banjo?
I did not bring my banjo. That's my secret second life. I don't tell my cooking friends that I play the banjo.
No,
Wise idea.
leave your banjo at home. You don't want to screw up a nice thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We were having fun, but then he made us listen to his banjo.
I know. That would have been you.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that guy.
You know, everybody dislikes the banjo except the people. The people
I
love
love
it.
I love the banjo. you
It's
know.
absolutely amazing when you go places, you pull out a banjo and they go, "Oh boy, look at that!"
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
it's really scary sometimes.
Yeah. One of Steve Martin's stand-up routines, he would have his banjo with him, and he says, "I like the banjo because it's impossible not to smile when you're playing a banjo."
Exactly
you know?
right. And he's right. He's right.
Well, if you're Lester Scruggs, he didn't smile too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. He let his fingers do the smiling.
Yeah.
I love the picture, Tom, that you posted. That was a good one. That was 1963 on Cape Cod, our first summer there.
It just, I was looking for a picture and it looked good. So I said, okay, let's put this one.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
It was on the notice for the Zoom meeting on Wednesday.
Okay, I'm gonna look at it right now.
Yeah, Buzzy was on the front fender, and I was on the bumper in the front, and I was on one fender, and Joel was on the other. And that's the only guys I can remember.
And I did use the list that Marty had used. You know, the people Marty sent it to. I sent the Zoom meeting on Wednesday to all of those people. Got a lot of
That's a good pick.
kickbacks, but I was hoping somebody else might show up.
Oh shucks.
That's you on the right fender, Jim.
Yep, that's me.
Buzzy on the front bumper, and I guess Joel on the left.
That's it. Right. The guys sitting on the cabin were a Dixieland band that Joel hired to play on Saturday and Sunday afternoon, and I can't remember all their names. The washboard player was named Paul something or other, and the rest of them I can't remember.
Red Garter, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost didn't put it up because it said Red Garter, but that's
the first and only summer we were Red Garter was your father's mustache shortly after that.
And I'm being slow. I can't find it anymore. So
I have a funny story to tell you about Buzzy Podwell.
Please do.
He was also teaching before he got his PhD. He was working on it and teaching at whatever that college was.
Tulane.
No, before Tulane.
Oh.
Up in anyway, one of his students was Fonzie, whatever his name was.
Henry Winkler.
Henry Winkler.
Oh, really?
And he said to Henry, he says, "Henry, you'll never make it in showbiz."
Right.
To which he replied, "Hey."
He was right. He was right because Henry made it in television, not show business.
Yeah. Yeah.
well, there was a local guy in Baltimore who, when Oprah Winfrey started off and playing, or when she was working in Baltimore, he told her she'd never make it in television, and he's still doing the weekend weather.
And she's
Yeah. Yeah. That kind of criticism sometimes inspires people. Say, "Oh yeah, watch this."
That's true. Yeah, I'll bet you're right.
When I was doing a show band with Buzzy, if we were in a hotel room or something like that, he couldn't not watch the Rockford Files. Remember Rockford?
Oh, I love the Rockford
Oh, yeah,
Files.
right.
Yeah.
James Garner
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
had to watch that. He loved that show.
Yeah. Yeah.
You wouldn't
James
expect that for a Shakespeare guy. He loved Rockford.
Yeah. It was
Why not?
good. It was good, innocent television. You know, even people that got shot in that thing, you never saw any blood anywhere. It's kind of like, you know, he solved most of his cases with his wit, you know.
James Garner was a qualified actor. He was good. I remember him from the not Gunsmoke, the other one.
Maverick.
Maverick.
Yeah.
The Maverick Brothers, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Bart and Brett.
That's right.
Yeah.
He also was in the movie Victor Victoria.
That was a funny movie, that one.
Yeah.
There was
Strange
also
movie. funny.
one
Yeah.
with,
It's the first time I ever saw Robert Preston in drag, so it's
Now-
Victor
now,
Victoria, yeah.
they also did the
for the
in-laws.
Carnegie trip- For the Carnegie trip, Dottie and I, we saw the stage show, the Broadway rendition of Victor Victoria, and got to see Julie Andrews.
Yeah,
That was
Wow.
pretty neat. That was pretty neat. That was what, 11, 12 years ago, whenever that was.
Yeah.
Julie Andrews was in the movie, wasn't she?
She was in
Yes.
the,
Yes.
Yeah,
we saw her in the Broadway production. that
that's
they-
cool.
After the movie. The movie came first in that case.
Oh, okay. Julie Andrews was great. I really liked her. She could sing and she was pretty and she was nice, very nice person as well, from what I understand.
Yeah,
I mean,
He was
she's very
also in a
confident, so what could
movie.
she be?
he was in a movie called The In-Laws.
Oh, yeah.
With,
Alan Arkin and Peter Falk.
Alan
Yeah.
Alda. Alan
Alan Arkin and
somebody
Peter
or other,
Falk, the in-laws you're talking about?
My boy. I like Peter Falk.
Yep. Alan Arkin's a real character. He's funny. He's a piece of work, that boy.
Yeah. Well, he's got
Started
that
out
band-
as a folk singer.
Really?
Alan Arkin, really?
Yes, Alan Arkin was in a group called the Tarriers.
The Tarriers. I remember them.
He's always
Yeah.
seemed to have such a
Alan
Brooklyn
Arkin.
accent to me. I'm trying to imagine a Brooklynese country folk singers, I mean,
think
his accent,
Here
his
I
accent's
am.
all, yeah.
Big Bill
There
Sawyer
you go,
started off
yeah.
as a folk singer.
Huh?
Big Bill Sawyer started off as a folk singer, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah. Big Bill.
that's Bill.
Yeah.
That was a shame because he wanted everybody to call him Big Bill, and the guys in the band called him Fat Bill. That was a shame.
Oh.
Oh.
No, we used to call him Big Bill,
Well, there's that song, Big Bad Bill. Big Bad Bill is Sweet William now, that one?
Yeah, remember that one? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. Are any
Ask
of you familiar with a jazz publication called the Syndicated Times?
I am.
Jim, are you?
No,
Anybody else?
No.
What was it, Mike?
On its third iteration, it started out in California a bunch of years ago with a guy who was called the West Coast Rag, and then it became American Rag, and then it was sold a few years ago to a guy in New York named Andy Senior. He changed the name to Syncopated Times. And there's a really great article in there I just found, goes back to August 2020. It's a full-page interview of Joan Dragon.
Oh,
So
Huh.
I think it's syncopatedtimes.com if you wanted to try to find it. They have an online version plus the print publication, and it's a good article.
I think you might have to become a member to get back issues though, Mike.
Well, I don't know about that, Barry. I know I've been a member of all three of them for years, but you might have to join or something. But their annual fee is not that big a deal, and they have some really great information about jazz stuff and performers all around the country. And I think it's a good publication.
There was an article last week on Sonny Helmer.
Yes.
yes, that's right. Yeah.
That-
Hey, Mike, I misunderstood you the first time. I'm very familiar with Syncopated Times.
You are familiar with it.
Yes, as well.
Like you, I've been a subscriber since the days of the Minneapolis people.
that was a different
Leslie, what's her name? I forget.
Yeah, Leslie Johnson. That was not associated with any of the others. That was a separate one.
Yeah.
About 6 months ago, a guy got in touch with me. He was doing a story on Bob Adams, and he kept me on the phone for a long time, just picking my, asking me about Bob.
Sure.
Anyway, back to the thing with Jonah. It's a great article from August of 2020. Very nice in-depth article going back with her for years and all the things she's done musically around the country.
In that article, she mentions some of us. Because she talks about her mustache days.
Yeah.
A little bit. So some of us got her name in print. I can't remember who. I know I was, and there were others, but I can't remember them all.
Well, an interesting thing about Peter Falk, I heard on the radio last week on one of the NPR shows, Romania, the people in Romania loved Columbo. And when when the episodes finally ended, they were replaying them, the people were going to go on strike, and the Romanian government had to have Peter Falk come and do a PSA about it, which I thought was crazy.
He said one more thing. One more thing.
Yeah, one more thing. Yeah, you need the crumpled trench coat, and a cigar. You need.
Hey,
Yeah,
Gonna beat up old Peugeot.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He was great. Yeah. No, actually, we had a roof issue, and we had a roofer come by and look at it to see, and he reminded me so much of Peter Falk. Bonnie and I are both talking to him, and he had the kind of action like he's talking about the roof, and I'm asking him a question. He says, I'm looking at her, but I'm listening to you, and he went on and gave us all the details about everything. I said, Bonnie, we got Columbo working on the roof here,
Hey,
Yeah.
Rick,
Hey, Rick.
Hey, what's up?
There he is down there.
What'd you say, Rick?
All right.
Did it
What's up?
rain out there, Rick?
Raining now.
Yeah. It stormed on us when I was in New Orleans. It's not so bad here. I went across the lake to eat.
Yeah,
and it
so
was
they had
pouring
street
buckets.
flooding
Yeah.
warnings in the city.
Power went out in the restaurant for a few minutes.
Really?
Even, yeah.
Is that when you snuck out?
Yeah, I didn't pay. I hadn't paid it. I still don't know where I went. Joan Dragon, here she is.
Hey, David.
well, I just looked it up. I just Googled it, and so you can see it online.
Cool.
I had to pull that up and read it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Tom, you are a technological wizard.
That's the only thing I could find today. But I did have one more picture that I was going to put up. I was waiting for Ira to come along, but
Okay.
So put it up now. We can make our comments about him.
isn't that Russell?
Yes. That's
Bruce Adams and Joe Terra.
Yeah, I know Joe Terra, but it's Russell the cook, and I didn't know.
The improper his something.
Bostonian.
Bostonian.
Oh, improper Bostonian. Okay.
I've got
Bostonian Cape Cod.
I've got 2 mugs from the improper Bostonian.
Oh, okay.
The Improper Bostonian was the club that was upstairs from the Mustache, which was
Right.
nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Who-
Yeah,
who-
so the
who's the
mugs
girl-
hanging
who's the-
up.
Who's the girl in the photograph? I don't recognize her.
The proper Bostonian.
I don't recognize her either.
Yeah, that's Yoko Ono when she was in her teens.
That's what I was thinking. Before she met John Lennon,
Yeah.
she hung out with Russell.
Yeah.
She's the proper Bostonian.
Yeah. I have no, yeah, that's a good picture.
Yeah.
And
Is the
Yeah.
is the guy on the right Peter Babcock?
No,
I don't
I don't
think.
think so. Kind of looks like him, but I don't think it is.
And some of you New Orleans guys that didn't know Joe Terra or didn't see him perform, you missed something.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Did he come down from Mardi Gras?
He never did.
He never
No.
did? I could have sworn he. Okay.
He didn't like to travel. In fact, we used to say that if he went above 14th Street, he'd get a nosebleed.
That's right. Yeah.
But his brother lived in Key West.
Right.
Was Captain John.
Oh yeah, yeah. His brother lived in Key West. One of his brothers. That was Captain Tony.
Right.
But then he had another brother that lived uptown, and he worked at Bill's Gay 90s. Y'all remember that place?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we never met Joe Terra, but he was featured at the 50th reunion. I saw his pictures everywhere. You know, they had
Oh,
little
yeah.
posters of him and all. So I figured he must have been something else.
He was a piece of
Well,
He
work.
was quite a
You know
character.
what? I've
Lot of
thought
character.
about it a lot. I mean, he's probably one of the most charismatic guys I ever worked with. I try to figure out why, because he wasn't a good singer. He obviously wasn't a good looking guy. He wasn't that musically inclined. He was a fair washboard player at best. but he was the most dynamic guy I ever got on stage with at the Mustache, I swear.
And his wife was a belly dancer.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, wife was a belly dancer.
I mean, he'd get up there and sing something like It Had to Be You. He had the whole crowd in the palm of his hand, and I could never figure out how he did it, you know?
He's one of those charismatic guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's some performers that are just like that. And it all boils down to if you look confident and you look like you're just enjoying the hell out of yourself, you can get away with just about anything, even if you're not completely skilled, you know.
Some of you guys that knew him, you agree with me or what? On that?
Absolutely.
He was really quite a character, is right. He was one of those people that when he walks into a room, he takes all the oxygen. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, Peter and I, Peter Vrianides and I worked with him in Wildwood, the Red Gar there.
Yeah.
We went to Wildwood and took them by storm. They never seen anything like that, huh, Peter?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Joe was the second guy I ever saw playing washboard. Jerry Sacco was the first in Denver. And then when I went to New York in 1970, I was there for a couple of months and Joe was really something else. You're right, Peter. I mean, Barry, he was just an overall all-around showman kind of guy that just was a funny, charismatic guy and put on a great show. Entertained the audience like
But
crazy.
I'm not sure what he did that made him like that.
It's a combination of everything he did, I think.
Chris,
Some
you
people
worked
are born that way, I
with
guess.
Chris, did you work with Joe a lot?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yep. There were only two washboard players that I worked with in New York, and that was Grove and Joe Tardo.
Right.
What a
Joey-
boy.
Giuseppe Tattacino, what a character.
And we have Charlie Chaplin here.
Ah,
Roger.
We haven't seen Roger on the Zoom call in a good while.
Yeah,
Who's the lady?
Who's that?
I'm just trying to figure that out. I don't know who that is.
Maybe
It's at
it's
New
Chris
Orleans.
Owens. Looks like Chris Owens.
No.
Chris Owens.
You know, was her Easter
Chris
bonnet
Owens
hat.
never looked that young.
Yeah.
Was she 130 now, maybe?
Mm.
Well, it looks like somebody, I mean, looking in the mirror behind him, it looks like there's or somebody with a mustache hat on back there too. So what club was that? It wasn't our club. We didn't have this transom windows.
Or corrugated walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
New York or Boston, maybe? Or...
I know Roger used to like those plaid pants.
Yeah. It must have been an outside job or something, I'm guessing.
Could be, because I don't recognize it either.
Yeah.
I don't even recognize the color of hat. I don't remember those hats that color.
We had some green derbies, but it looks like maybe the colors washed a little bit. We had some.
We had green and red, didn't we? Green
Yeah.
and red.
Yeah. I had to stick with the skimmers. The derbies were a little bit big for my head. They kind of came down to my ears. You know.
I'd like to find a picture of that.
Yeah.
Looked a little like Buck Kelly. Remember
A
him?
little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Well, here's
Does the
another.
band- Yeah.
What?
No, so I was just asking, has the band gotten any more instructions or what songs y'all doing or not doing or anything? Or y'all are just
Only
Yeah, I know-
the only thing I've seen is the original list from Joel, the
Okay.
running list. That's the only one I've seen.
I just was curious because I know y'all get some other emails from Joel and such.
Not that many, really.
That's a classic photo there.
That one.
Here we got Roger over here.
Roger and Fred's right above him. Fred Hendrick.
Yeah.
That must
Oh,
be.
yeah.
Is that,
Oh, yeah.
is
Fred
that
was
Bruce
a-
Wilson?
Red
Is that
Hendricks
Bruce
at the
Wilson
top.
next to Roger? No.
Here's Joel.
Which one is Roger? Put the arrow on it.
Roger's the second one from the
Oh, yeah,
left.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
Is that,
16-year-old guy.
was-
And
is that-
there's Fred.
Yeah,
that's
Fred's right above him. But I was curious if that was Bruce Wilson next to Roger. The
It
blonde
looks like
haired
Bruce.
guy.
It could be Bruce,
It
yeah.
may- it may have been. He was in Denver for a long time, but it's been a long, he passed away a few years ago. And
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It looks like it might have been him, but it's questionable.
Yeah. Y'all remember he was tall, big with blonde hair. He had a mustache though when he hired me.
Yeah.
Fred
Same
and
here.
Fred and Roger were both gone the day it was just before Mardi Gras. My friend Tommy told me that they were looking for waiters down at the Mustache. And so I went in to apply and he says, "You got a white shirt and black pants?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Come back tonight. You're starting." And so,
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
And you said
Yeah.
Fred was gone by the time you got there, Billy?
was that?
Fred was still there when you got
No,
hired?
he just wasn't there when I got hired.
Oh,
He was
I
still
got
he was still there. But I guess they needed waiters, and my friend Tommy Barrios was working there, and he told me that he knew I was looking for a job. I was in college, and I was working at DH Homes part time. So I switched over to the Mustache.
Yeah, Fred was manager then. He just wasn't there at that time.
Yeah, he wasn't there at the time,
Out shopping or something.
But they hired so many waiters that didn't stick 2 weeks. Like it was you either had it or you didn't have it.
Now this is, I didn't notice this before, but this is a picture of the outside of Bourbon Street.
Right. Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah, that's our old fire truck. One of my first, Rick, you might have gone too. Remember, we had an outside job with the Playboy Bunnies, and we were on the fire truck collecting for cystic fibrosis or something. So it was.
That's Roger in the back, yeah.
That's Roger.
On banjo, the first in the T-shirt, Harry Berg, I believe his name is. Ben Smith on tuba, Neil Undersayer and Katie Hat up there, and Jim Heaslip in the back playing trombone.
Yeah, that looks like Ben on the tuba, but didn't he play trombone too?
Mostly.
Yeah, I thought he was playing trombone when I was there.
This job, he's playing tuba.
Okay.
Jimmy Hayslip used to he would take his booze and put it in an empty peanut butter jar because he could drink it faster. He ended up drinking it. I'm serious. He drank himself to death. He really did, sadly.
I tell you what, he's probably one of the top mustache trombone players I heard in my lifetime. I mean, and I heard him most of all of them. He's one of the tops.
Yeah. Jay Basham was another one.
Yeah, well, but Jay had the soulfulness, but he didn't have the technique this guy had. Heaslip.
Yeah.
Well, Roger's pants on this one are quite the outfit.
Wow.
Okay. Swimsuit thing.
Girl.
Yeah. Outside of Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like we were saying last week, that part didn't change after the fire. It's the same, a different color
Right.
maybe, but
Yeah.
the facade is the same.
You had one of our first Mustache eat-alongs on the balcony out there. Remember, we had a little get-together. Weren't you there, Barry? And
Yeah, Barry was there.
we went to the new restaurant that bought the Mustache, and we sat on the balcony outside overlooking Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barry was there.
It wasn't the same though. It was fun to be down in the old place again, but it was.
Our table was right above Roger's head in this photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, we used to hang out up there during Mardi Gras. Just if you were off duty, you can go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I lived up there for about 6 months one time. Back to back. They did.
Yeah.
I bet
I
that
remember
was
the old.
comfortable.
After when I divorced, I had a place to
Yeah. Was
all
that
worked out
Linda?
good. Yeah.
I bet you saw some rats up there.
I was just thinking that. Rats.
Probably. I don't remember. It's been a while.
Fire and Ludi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Cats.
Howdy, Ira.
Howdy, everybody.
Yeah.
Say, Ira.
Good news, Dave Hunt is coming.
Good.
He'll be there. He wasn't sure before, but he just sent me a note saying if I'm going to be there, he's going. So he'll
Oh,
be there.
that's good.
Good. Good. That's
What
good.
club was he? Was he at New York also, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
New
Who
York.
did you say? I missed it. Who's coming, did you say?
Who?
I missed what you said earlier. So who is it that's coming?
Dave Hunt. Did you know him, Kim?
I'm trying to remember. It sounds familiar. Is he a
Red-haired guy. He worked the door a lot. Then he wound up going to Jimmy Days. He worked there.
Okay. Huh.
That's where I knew him
He's
from.
from the late 60s.
He was gone from the mustache when I got there, Ira, but he was working at
Yeah,
Jimmy.
but you knew him, right?
Yeah, from Jimmy Days.
Right. Yep. Good guy. He owned a pretty popular place in right under the GW Bridge until last year when it closed because of COVID. Very
Really?
popular. Called Coogan's.
Right under the GW Bridge.
Yeah, on 169th Street, maybe somewhere there.
You know, well, the bridge is at 178th Street. So, but the bridge complex goes about 10 blocks in either direction.
Yeah, and he was right by what was it? Columbia? Is that Columbia School of Nursing or something? Or
Well, that could be.
yeah, I
Columbia-
think that's where he was. He had a popular place.
Yeah.
Very
Next
busy.
to it, I would think next to a nursing school would be a good place for a bar.
Oh, yeah. Bar, restaurant. He was always busy. And he had to close just before, a couple of days before St. Patrick's Day last year.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would have been his big payday too, huh?
Big payday.
Well, the
Yeah.
mustache in New York had what, St. Vincent's Hospital down the block. We got nurses from
Yeah.
there.
That was on 14th Street. Yeah.
And
That,
then-
Barry, that hospital now is closed.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they're
guess what?
closed.
The mustache in New Orleans, we got all the charity
The
nurses.
charity nurse. The charity nurse.
Remember that? Yeah, they'd all.
Yeah, especially on ladies' night and Friday afternoon club.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that would draw in a lot of guys too.
What are charity nurses?
It was
It's a
charity.
Charity Hospital School of Nursing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had
it was
a
a
lot
big-
of, all
it was a
Joe
big
Terra's
school.
nieces went to nursing school, right, Barry?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You and Danny still going up to New York a few days before?
yes, sir.
And then what, are you gonna take a train up to New Haven?
That's the plan.
Yeah, okay. I don't know what I'm doing yet. Haven't figured it out. I'll either fly.
Peter Vrianita said he was going to give me a ride. I don't know.
Who, Franny?
Me?
Peter.
Peter? Yeah,
I
I'll go
don't
with
have
Peter.
a card, all right.
Peter, I saw your picture in the Navy on Facebook.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
That was a good picture.
Yeah, it is. It's
Uh,
good.
thanks.
You were looking like you were busy.
Ira, you need to get your eyes checked if you thought that was a good picture.
How old were they, Pete? 21?
Did you get the letter?
I was probably 20.
20.
Jeez.
Did you get my letter, Rick?
Yeah. I got it. Sent your stuff to you today.
Look, they named that basketball player that's on TV now. What's his name? I think the Kofo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Giannis.
They
Yeah,
named him after Peter, the Greek freak.
Oh, come on now. Be nice.
oh,
That's what they call him. That's what they call him, the Greek freak.
Hey, Gim,
yeah.
have
Yes.
you gotten any more musicians signed up last week or two?
Nope, no bites.
I don't think you're gonna hear anything for another month or so,
I think you're probably right.
or more.
That's what I told Joel. As soon as we get the website up and all the hotels settled and all that kind of stuff, I mean, included on the website, and we get something to go public with, then we might see some action. But until then, I don't think so. I think you're right.
Yeah.
when they see who's coming, they'll all come because I mean, if we're gonna be there, I mean, shit.
Well, Ira, I saw this picture, so I thought you might like to see it, but now my thing's going.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Russell
shit.
and Joe Terra.
Look at that.
Who's the guy on the right?
That's, is that Marty Fay?
Oh, it might be.
I think that's Marty.
I'll
That's
bet you're right. I'll bet you're
Russ
right.
Adams, otherwise known as Bo Adams. Joe, but who's the girl? Barry, do you know who that is?
Somebody says Yoko Ono.
When she was younger.
Just
I
a
don't
bit.
know who she is, but I think that's Marty Fay.
I think it's one of
You're right.
Tara's. That's one of Joe Terra's nieces.
You know what? You might be right. You might be right. Wow, Russ.
Look, Russ Adams had thicker eyebrows than I do. Jesus.
Well, that's from drinking a quart of Wilson's whiskey every day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good old
Every
Wilson.
day.
You
Wilson-
gotta be
Wilson-
shitting me.
Yeah.
You're
Did y'all say he?
shitting
Did y'all
me.
say he was the cook there, or what did he do?
Yeah, he was the
Yes.
cook. He came with the club, I think, when Joel opened it.
Well, he came from,
His
he came
hamburgers
from-
were the best I ever had.
he came
Yeah.
from Boston. Russ came from Boston, and,
Oh, did
and
he?
Joel brought him with him when they opened New York.
Oh, but he was up in Boston.
Yeah.
Now, I know in the summer, he went up to Cape Cod because once me and Lou Ira drove him up there. What a trip that was.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Oh, my God.
Anybody get in touch with little Ira? Did you try to get him, Ira?
I can't get in touch with him.
I did. I got a message from him that he's coming to our reunion in the fall.
Good.
He's still got his store, and they're making it. So they didn't have to close during COVID. They still got it.
Well, that's good. But what he emailed you, Jim, that he'll be there?
Sorry?
He sent you an email that he'll be at the reunion?
Right.
Okay, good.
So Ira, remember after the mustache closed, Danny Rubio and Ira Gutman went into business together,
I
right?
remember that.
And they called it What's Up Productions. And Joe Terra called it Fucked Up Productions.
Fucked up production. Remember one year, Barry, after it closed, they were selling Christmas trees?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Right in front of the Harry Lip office.
Yep, right there. The Harry Lip office.
Well, Danny and Ira wrote that song called what was it?
Susquehanna Park.
The iguana song.
They did.
And the band that I worked with for so many years did that song. We must have played it a million times. People loved it.
Well, look, I was sitting on, we had a train job. We went up to Chicago and played people coming in from Mardi Gras. And I'm sitting on a train with Dan. He said, here's a new song that me and Ira wrote. Get out your banjo and play the chords to it. So I think I'm the first guy to ever play chords to that song.
Cool.
I heard Steve Yoakum sing it.
Yeah.
Are you the guy that is responsible for those chords? Jesus Christ.
Oh, he had them written out. He had them written out. I just followed the lead sheet.
Well, okay. All right. I'll forgive you then.
Blame Danny.
But actually, that's what makes the song good because those chords are a little out there.
Yeah, they are indeed.
One day I'm gonna have to hear that song. Where you'll have it recorded.
Yeah, I imagine if you search for it, Steve Yoakum, My Iguana, you can
My
find it.
Iguana.
My iguana.
Yeah.
Great song.
Hey, Kim, did you ever get hold of Tim Greeley?
No, I will put him on the distribution of when we send out the next distribution to communicate with the musicians.
Yeah,
Judging from your description of his health, I really didn't want to bug him. But
Yeah. sounds like he's not doing well either, and he's got caregivers and stuff, so he's
yeah,
probably.
I got a note from Paul French that he had contacted him, and I got the same flavor from him. So I didn't want to go, saying,
Yeah.
hi, we're going to have a big party, you want to come and all that sort of thing. And he'll say no. And then we get into a dialogue about what his illness is. And that's something that you really don't want to get into if you don't have to.
Well, I told him about the reunion just so he'd know about it. His
Oh, good.
daughter-in-law is one of the caregivers, and
Yeah.
he said they'd see if they could get him there, but I don't know that he'd be able to play, but it didn't sound good, but at least we made contact with him.
Good for you. Thanks for that.
Has anybody heard from Joan lately? She hasn't been on.
No, I haven't seen any emails from her either. She usually.
I got a note from her yesterday, and we were talking about Jazz Fest, and I chided her about the Friday Zooms, and we haven't seen her in a while. And then she came back and said that she's been busy as hell with her store, and Fridays are busy. And she will try, but she can't guarantee that she's going to show up. That's kind of been the way it is with her all along. She comes in and pops in and says a few things and then leaves because she's busy at the store. Or
That's good.
shop. Or
I'm
restaurant.
glad she's finally busy out there. I'm sure it was a long haul,
During COVID, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's another Joe Terra.
Oh, that's Dennis Jewelry?
With bananas hanging from the ceiling.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that Dennis Jewelry?
No, that's
No.
Jay Brackett.
Who is it?
Jay
Jay
Brackett.
Brackett.
It looked like Dennis Jewelry for a minute. But
He looks very serious to me.
Jay Brackett had a gravelly Louis Armstrong voice.
He did indeed. And he had a beautiful French wife, too.
That's the shortest Joe Terra's hair ever was at the mustache.
Yeah, really.
I think you're right.
And the darkest.
When they first started, did they have a more strict dress code or something?
Joe said he used to dye his beard and mustache a little gray so it looked natural.
That's right.
Yeah. So what happens when you pulled each banana? Was there a special thing again?
One was for a symbol, right, Bear?
Right.
One was for the clapping hands.
Clapping
Right.
hands right above the restroom. They have wooden hands would clap. And one
Yes.
was the
What
bass,
was the third one?
the bass drum.
That's right. Yeah. The bass drum, I think, was right above where Joe played in that corner
Right.
against the back wall.
He had a bell somewhere, somewhere. It wasn't
I
hooked
don't
up
think
to
it was controlled by the bananas.
I
There's
don't
a
think
bell
it-
right there.
You're right, but I can't remember how it was controlled.
Didn't he just hit it? That's like a room service bell.
That's a bell on top of his washboard. I think that was.
Yeah,
that he
always had.
Every night we'd be putting away our instruments and he'd take his bananas off and put them away. Remember that?
He locked
Oh,
them up
yeah.
in his locker.
He
Yeah.
locked his bananas up.
Some
I mean,
people would vote that he went bananas a long time ago.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, when you reach for your banana, you want something there to pull, right?
Right. Yeah. We know this is an old picture because we never, that I remember, had the St. Louis sign up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember a St. Louis club.
Yeah, there was a St. Louis club, but
Yeah,
wasn't
but I don't
wasn't
ever
it real
remember
re-
seeing the sign in the New York club.
Yeah. One of the stories that I had heard was when the Red Garter quit in New Orleans, your father's mustache said they were going to wrap up in St. Louis and give the Red Garter over. It's kind of like the Red Garter is only a few blocks, maybe 2 blocks from the
But
Bourbon
2
Street
blocks
Club.
down.
Yeah, and that's what I had heard when they closed the club, the Red Garter in New Orleans, and they said, yeah, they're giving up your father's mustache in St. Louis, and they're giving up Red Garter there because it didn't make sense to have the same kind of club that close to each other.
Mhm.
So
The
That's
Red
what I
Garter
heard.
in New
I mean, I
Orleans
was-
was 2
I was-
blocks away.
Right.
pretty much, yeah.
Corner of
When
Bourbon.
did that close? When did that close? Do you remember?
I would say
It was right when 71, I guess, because that's when I started, and several of the Red Garter waiters came over and started working with us.
I think that was my first Mardi Gras, 71.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's when I first got hired was 71. So
Yeah.
that was my first Mardi Gras too.
Yeah, me too.
Well, guys, I need to go.
Okay, Pete, thanks for coming.
Okay, Pete,
Well,
See you, Pete.
we'll see you
Well,
next
Take care,
week.
Peter.
Peter,
Yeah.
go
Yeah,
pull
Pete.
out that pink bathing suit. I want to see you wear it in Connecticut.
Don't hold your breath, guys.
We're it on the way up to Connecticut.
I want to
Yeah,
see
right.
that. We could really do some reminiscing.
Oh, boy.
it might help you get your rental car.
I know.
That's right.
That bright pink fuchsia Speedo. Oh, man. That was unbelievable.
Well, guys,
Look,
take care.
it was the color of
Take
the
care, Peter.
pick. You see
We
this
will, Pete.
banjo pick?
We will.
Yeah.
That's the color of the bathing suit.
Oh, no.
Thanks, guys.
Wow.
Hey, keep that pick. It'll match his bathing suit, right?
We'll
Yeah.
keep that pick. When you put the bathing suit on, we'll play with this pick.
Well, Pete just disappeared. There he went.
No.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gone.
Yep. Tom must be gone too.
Tom's coming back.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys too. It's
We can't talk about you then.
good to see you
Yeah.
guys. I'll see you next week. I gotta take off.
Okay. Good night, Mike.
Okay,
Take care, Mike.
All right, Mike.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Mike, we'll see you next week.
Yep, I'll be here.
Yeah. I'm gonna head on too, guys.
Yeah,
Right.
might as well
Take
wrap
care.
it up.
Stay dry and all
Okay,
that.
guys, have a
Okay.
good week.
See
Yes,
y'all.
y'all too.
Yep.
See you later.
Be well.
Adios, all.
I was just turning on the oven.
Tom's back. It's time to go.
I think we're punching. Everybody's punching out, Tom.
I just was off turning on the oven.
Yeah, boy. Just don't put your head in it. It's okay.
All right, well,
Summertime up here, folks. So I'll see you later.
all right, bye-bye.
Okay,
Good night.
take care, everybody.
Bye, Snake.
Yeah,
See y'all.
see you later.
Bye, Barry.
Take care, Barry.
Thank you. Thank
Bye,
you, Tom.
David.
All right, we'll
Hi,
see you next
Gracie.
Friday.
Bill, see you, Barry.
Good night. Good night, John boy.
All right, see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye, Tom.